Your very own Mr. Entertainment. Mark Mulgrew on 107.8 Black Diamond FM.
Yes, and that's me, Mr. Entertainment. And talking about Mr. Entertainment, I'm joined by a plethora of people from the entertainment business. I'm sitting here with the two Boyle brothers, with Gerry and John. Good afternoon, chaps.
Hello, Mark. How are you?
I'm absolutely fine. Thank you very much for taking time out your very, very busy schedule to come and have a chat with us about Yule Terrace, which is a new project. Now, it's a Boyle family CD, and it's a show that you're putting together. Now, tell us a wee bit, Gerry, about how this came about.
It started off being on the back of the I Dreamed a Dream musical, which was very successful and toured around the UK. And anybody who went to see that show began to realise, because of the script and the way it was presented, that we were rhymed off on stage a bit like the, if you will, the Von Trapps. And we thought, oh dear, it's now been very made off is that we're a musical family, if you like. And on the back of that, Mark, what actually happened was people started getting in touch with us by email and various other forms, asking if there'd be a chance, could we hear from other members of the family? And we thought, oh well, don't know about that. We thought, what do we do? And do we take this seriously? But it didn't go away. It kept, especially from lovely people over in America. They kept coming to us saying, look, we'd love to hear this, we'd love to hear that. And so very much on the back of I Dreamed a Dream.
So, I mean, it's obviously, as you say, it's attracted a great amount of interest. And obviously, how many of you are there in the family, and who's going to be appearing on the CD?
Well, as everybody knows, due to Susan's success, there's quite a few members of the family, but we have to say that quite a few members don't want to be part of it. And so key members, myself and John, who's here today, and Mary, who sings with her choir, she wanted to be part of it, but not on her own because she's comfortable singing with her choir. Yeah. And we thought, look, we can't just jump onto the bandwagon here and do it, because we'll fall into two categories. It'll be a case of you're encroaching on Susan's career, and we don't want to do that. You've got to give her space. But at the same time, if there's a genuine appetite for this, and who knows, because the Americans, are, as I say, just won't go away. So we're very pleased, we're very flattered. So what we thought we would do is, okay, why don't we set up a website and see what happens there, and people can get in touch with us. So on the back of that, we began to think, perhaps we could go out and do something, and hopefully it will be well received. But wouldn't it be marvellous if, in turn, that became a front door for other people's talent? So in other words, this is what we're going to do. If you like it, then there could be other things on the back of that, a show, for instance. And it could be very much a front door for other members of other families to come along and be discovered. And if we did it that way, then what's wrong with that? That's a great idea, I think.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned the website that you set up, and for the benefit of the listeners, what's the website address?
The website is theboyle-family.com. So I'll just say that again. theboyle-family.com, which is live now, and people can go on there. And as you see from the script and the images, that we were a bit nervous because we thought, how would this go down? Would people think, well, we're jumping on the bandwagon, it's been 4 years now since Susan became famous? We didn't want to do that, certainly, but if there's genuine interest in this, and we think there is because of the kind emails that we've been receiving, and if it leads to other people becoming discovered, then what harm can it do? Let's see where we go with it.
Now, the first question that most people will probably be running through their head just now is Susan going to be appearing on the CD?
Well, the answer is no, and the reason for that is simple, because when we were being seduced into doing this, we thought the correct way forward, we think, and still do, is that we should go and talk to Susan's record company, because obviously they have rights to Susan's recording, and we don't want to, as I say, we never want to be accused of encroaching in her circle. So we went to London to speak to the people in Simon Cowell's office, and we asked them, would this be possible? Is there something that we could do together? Because, one would expect Susan to be part of this. Unfortunately, they took a different view. They said, no, in our opinion, there'd be no interest in this. It wouldn't be successful, and they sent us back an email saying, we don't think so, because we don't think it'll be successful. We don't think anybody's got an interest in this, as I said, and therefore we wouldn't want Susan associated with something that was going to fail. And I thought, so we had to leave it there.
Yeah.
We had to respectfully say, well, okay, guys, we came and we spoke to you, and unfortunately, Susan won't be appearing in it. Now, we have made that very clear to people who've contacted us from America, and I have to say I'm very, very delighted, because they've still said, well, why don't you do it and let's hear what you've got.
Mm-hmm. So, now the CD, you've called it Yule Terrace.
Yes.
And I'm aware of where Yule Terrace is, but tell us a bit about Yule Terrace.
Well, Yule Terrace is a street in Blackburn, and that's where we all grew up, more or less. I mean, I myself, I lived there for many, many years. John lived there as well.
I think the only person, Mark, who didn't live there for any length of time was perhaps Mary.
Mary, yeah.
Because we all left, obviously, we all left at different times as we were growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's closely associated with the Boyle family. So when we were looking around for a title, I thought, well, Yule Terrace, why not? Yeah.
Well, it's rather like Mark. I should imagine if Prince Charles and Princess Anne were bringing out an album, perhaps they'd call it Buck House. So it's probably. Well, I think it was Gerry's idea actually, and it's an absolutely excellent idea.
I mean, Yule Terrace. It must be great for you guys. That people. It's not maybe on the scale of Graceland's. Elvis's song, but people, there are people who come from overseas who want to go and see where Susan and yourselves grew up,
which is very flattering, isn't it? It's great. We're still, 4 years down the road, we're still completely bowled over, and it's so unnatural for us, because we come from that house in Yule Terrace, and for it to become a kind of focal point of attention for people all across the world. It's bizarre, but it's flattering. Yeah.
Bizarre but flattering.
But that's why we called it Yule Terrace.
Yeah, great stuff. Now, tell us Yule Terrace. It's your family home, and it's songs by the family. Tell us about what sort of songs we expect to see or hear on the CD.
Well, it'll be a mixture of songs. I think the surprise will be that a lot of the songs will be covers, I suppose, from way back that people have forgotten about, because I'm a great believer that if you're going to cover some material, then do it from perhaps let people hear songs that they've never heard before. Mm-hmm. But also, that's going to be balanced with some new guest artists that we've found, because remember, the whole essence of this, Mark, is to say we want to be the front door for new talent, and we're pretty sure that people have come through, so we've got a couple of great new pieces of original material. But I think the standout track will be Scarlet Ribbons, which John will tell you about in a minute, because that was featured in I Dreamed a Dream, with an actor playing my dad on stage, which was really quite odd to watch. But the chap was great, and he portrayed our father really well. And again, we were guided by people in America who came to us and said, well, we love that track. What's its origins? Did your dad sing that? So we thought, wouldn't it be great if somebody could sing that? So John says, well, I'll do Scarlet Ribbons and see how it goes down.
Well, I've certainly taken it on me, Mark. I don't think in any way, shape or form will ever be able to perform it like my dad did. Uh-huh. It was incredible. It was very emotional for me to sing as well.
I can imagine.
And it really was incredible. And as Gerry said, the interest in it from the people, especially in America, to hear the Scarlet Ribbons is unbelievable. For example, a few weeks ago I met a few Americans in the Bathgate area, and they recognised me strangely enough, which frightened me to death. But they were sat and talking about things, and actually, a couple of drinks led to another couple of drinks, and I actually started up, actually sang Scarlet Ribbons from the pub.
Great stuff.
And they thought, this is incredible. And I thought it was incredible because normally at that time of day I'm drunk. No, seriously, no, it was incredible. And I really think they'll go for it. And I'm terribly proud.
I hope so.
I'm terribly proud how it turned out.
Brilliant. Now the album's in its final stages of production, and it'll be released quite shortly. But we have a track, Gerry, that you recorded.
Yes, All of My Days.
Which is All of My Days. Now it was written by Kenny Herbert.
Kenny, yes, Kenny. He was a fantastic songwriter from Edinburgh, and Kenny let me hear this a while ago. Well, it was a song that he had recorded on an album of his own. The first time I heard it, I thought it's very, very Beatlesque. It's very Paul McCartney, and I think Kenny thought I was being a bit kind of I said to him, Kenny, if Paul McCartney had written that, he'd be very proud of it as one of his better songs. And Kenny said, do you think so? I said, well, so much so, could I have a go at singing that? Because it will show what we can do, perhaps, but it'll also bring the musicians that we're going to be using together on a project that we can do. So we put it out as a kind of, not tongue-in-cheek, no, I wouldn't say that, as a kind of dry run to see how the musicians would gel together. We didn't really promote it, it's on the website, but one or two people came to me saying, I love that, as again, American people, very nice. Would you do that song with other things? And of course, Yule Terrace has kind of superseded that. It's become a family effort. But I like All of My Days. I think it's one of the best songs I've ever heard.
Well, I've had a listen to it, and I actually quite like it as well.
Oh.
Going to let everybody else be the judge of that. If you want to get in touch, you can email studio@blackdiamondfm.com or give us a call, 0131 663 4488, if you've got any questions for the Boyle brothers. And this is All of My Days.
In your beautiful eyes, when you laugh or you cry, I can see the real woman in you. Asking me, please, will you take me for all that I am? It's your little girl ways and the way that you say you can take on the world all alone. Never give in to the ones that can make it so bad. To worry now, you're the love of my life. Never doubt what you do, just see everything through. You're stronger than ever before. Over and over, you always stay true to yourself. I will love you all of my days. I will hear what you say. I will love you all of my days till life fades away.
All of My Days by Gerry Boyle. Great stuff.
Thank you very much. Yes,
And,
it's a lovely song.
Yeah, it's an absolutely fantastic song. Now, out of all the songs, I mean, you've said that Scarlet Ribbons is the song that you think is one of the big songs on the CD. What other songs do you think are going to be the ones that people are going to bring back memories and say, oh, remember that?
Well, John, who's right next to me, and John is a fan of Gene Pitney, and there's a few Gene Pitney songs that have been kind of lost in the mist of time, shall we say. John, I think you're going to be doing It Hurts to Be in Love, which is a bit up-tempo. And also John does a mean version of, remember the old John Rawls classic, If I Only Had Time?
Yeah.
Which again is round. So yeah, there'll be some new stuff on there that people think, wow, this is new talent in action, this is great. But they'll also be able to say, oh, I've forgotten about that one. Or they will think it's a new song, a couple of tracks that they've never heard, and that's
and sort of redone, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, brought up to date, yeah.
And freshened up.
Brought up to date, make the album interesting. It's not all just ballads,
Now, obviously, you've been keen to say that the whole thing has not been on the back of Susan's success. It's actually been as a result of the interest. And how much interest do you think that you'll generate, from Susan's fans around the world?
Well, again, we don't want to overstate the case, but this is happening because of that interest. I mean, we didn't think for a second we'd go forward now and say, well, okay, let's do this, let's do that. I mean, we always had plans to try and do things in the music business and television and radio, but it was a surprise to us when we thought, on the back of I Dreamed a Dream, we began to receive, from just ordinary people in America, New Zealand and so on, we began to get, if you like, the green light to do it, because people kept saying to us, come on, let's hear from you, and we were very reluctant. We thought, no, this won't go down well, it won't be received well, and the press will hammer us and we'll always be accused of this. And we thought, but at the same time, if it's not going to go away, and I started sending a few emails back to people who'd been in touch, just to get their not approval, if you like, and yes, they want to come over to the arena when it opens up. They want to meet the Boyle family because they know all about us. We've gone down rather well in America, and that's a surprise, and it's a delight, and it's an honour.
Mm-hmm. It must be. We have had this chat off air as well, but it's great, and I think most families across Midlothian, Scotland, and across the world, our weekend was like a Friday night. My dad came in from his work and got the guitar out, and I think there was just music in the family, home.
It's
Very much
parcel,
so, yeah. Oh, very much so. When we were kids, there was always music in the house, always. In fact, very difficult to find a hairbrush because everybody used it. Everybody used it as a microphone, as the world now knows. But there was always music, and I always remember my dad, who's sadly not with us any longer, but he had this great big tape recorder. It was a Truvox. I don't know if you remember it, Jared.
Yeah, it was usually a suitcase, wasn't it?
It was no way was it portable. It was the size of that, Mark. Honest to God. And he'd come in, and his brothers came up from Motherwell. He would switch it on. I think actually ran for an hour and a half, so you can imagine the size of the tapes. And everybody did sing.
Yep.
And everybody did sing. And I must say, looking back, and the standard was really good. But in those days, people did that in the house.
That's it. That's it. I mean, and people, people developed into musical acts, and
Absolutely.
That's right.
Now,
Absolutely, yeah.
Having a look at the website, the Boyle family website, you've said on the website that the main reason why you wanted to do Yule Terrace and to portray what you do as a family is also to show that there's talent there in the family, but to find new talent as well.
Definitely, Mark.
Tell us how that'll work.
Yeah, that's exactly that's I would say that's our core reason. We're having a bit of fun, and if it goes down well, then that's marvellous. But wouldn't it be even better if we can say, well, we've found this person, that person, and already I have to say that we've said this in the past, and as you rightly point out on the website. And a few people have been in touch. We're very keen to find people who are in the industry, people who are already performing, who want to be discovered and are, dare I say it, good enough to be discovered. And we have a lady called Fiona Lynch. And Fiona, I believe, she's a songwriter, along with her partner Rab Howitt. And Rab, I've known, Rab played guitar on All of My Days.
Yep.
And as you know, one thing leads to another. Rab said to me, you really need to hear Fiona Lynch. And of course I said, well, give me a couple of things, take it home. And I sat one night listening to her, and I was absolutely blown away. She's, apart from being, easy on the eye, she's a tremendous songsmith. great performer, and I think deserves a chance. And I think, well, if we can be the front door for her to come through and be seen, then isn't that what we're planning? Isn't that in action? That's what we're doing. That's exactly what we want to do. So Fiona is going to be joining us on Yule Terrace as one of our guests, along with other people. And if that helps her career get off the ground, then we're absolutely delighted for her.
Great stuff. Now, I'm going to play one of Fiona's tracks. I think the first track that you maybe heard, which is called Mona Lisa. And it was written by Rab Howitt and Fiona.
Rab and Fiona, yes.
And who have been guests on the show here in Black Diamond as well. And but we're going to play that, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the old Odeon building as people will remember it.
Our pet project, yes.
And talk about the Instant Arena. This is Fiona Lynch.
He took a step towards me. He said, I can be discreet. Just give me some attention and I'll make your night complete. And he whispered in my ear, Señorita, you'll be mine. I looked around for my savior, but there was nowhere to be found. Won't you be my Mona Lisa? Won't you be my sweet Juanita? Show me some dedication. Won't you be my Madalena? 'Cause your kiss is so much sweeter. Won't you be my Mona Lisa tonight? You held my hand so tightly as I tried to walk away. Could not understand why didn't want to play. Always desperation lingered, but a smile remained the same. I seen you'll never help me, and I won't be part of your game. Won't you be my Mona Lisa? Won't you be my sweet Juanita? Show me some dedication. I'll give you some education. Won't you be my Madalena? 'Cause your kiss is so much sweeter. Won't you be my Mona Lisa tonight? Okay, boys, blow that trumpet real hard. As he took his step towards me, his smile lit up the place. All I could see was the pearly whites, they were blinding me in the face. Won't you be my Mona Lisa? Won't you be my sweet Juanita? Show me some dedication. I'll give you some education. Won't you be my Madalena? 'Cause your kiss is so much sweeter. Won't you be my Mona Lisa tonight? One more time, I said, be my Mona Lisa. Won't you be my sweet Juanita? Show me some dedication. I'll give you some education. Won't you be my Madalena? 'Cause your kiss is so much sweeter. Won't you be my Mona Lisa? Won't you be my Mona Lisa? Won't you be my Mona Lisa tonight?
That is pretty special, isn't it?
I think that's fantastic. I think it's really, really good. And it's one of these things. I mean, the great thing about Fiona and Rab as a writing partnership is it's a constant surprise because one track is so much different from the one you heard before. So it's not particular. They're not stuck in a rut with a writing ability. I couldn't write a song to save my life, but it's marvellous to see people like that who are trying to be seen, trying to be heard.
Yeah.
And once again, Mark, if we can be the door that opens that opportunity for them, then that's wonderful.
Well, if you can be the catalyst for bringing in new talent,
That's
you know,
the word
there's-
I was looking for,
there's-
yes.
You know, it's a great thing because I think what the music industry does need is real people looking for real talent.
Yeah.
And that's not having a slight at anybody or
No,
anything.
no, no.
You know, I think it should be a hands-on approach, and you know, it should be more about the people the talent.
absolutely. But I think the times have changed because we live, as you know, in a digital age where people can be discovered very quickly. And doesn't that sound, doesn't that sound right coming from us? However, I think the more people who use, things like YouTube and stuff like that, the bigger the fog it becomes, and it's still easy to be lost.
Yep.
So what we're trying to do is to create this front door with the CD, Yule Terrace, and then of course the shows will do. I know we're going to talk about that in a minute, but the core function is to bring people with genuine talent and get them seen and get them out there and provide that door, because that's so important.
Now, the natural question that most people will be thinking is, how do we get our hands on this CD, Yule Terrace?
Yes, well, of course, we live in a digital age, so our distributors are talking to us about it. They were on this morning, and we will imagine it will be available to pre-order on Amazon and iTunes as early as the end of next week.
Brilliant stuff. So anybody, just Amazon or iTunes, do a search for Yule Terrace
Boyle family,
and the Boyle family.
I believe, according to our distributors who are based in the UK, they've said we can have that up there within a few days, and we would probably think it will be ready for pre-order by the end of next week.
Great stuff. Now, we have mentioned it. There's an old theatre in Edinburgh. Some people remember it as the New Victoria, and other people remember it being the Odeon Cinema in South Clark Street in Edinburgh, which you've now taken over yourselves as a family. You've taken over, and tell us a bit about the project. Tell us what's happening here.
We quickly realised that opportunities were opening up for us, and the building in Clark Street in Edinburgh is, we're told, and I think we know this ourselves, is a very, very iconic, important building in Edinburgh. It's been vacant for a number of years, and we thought, wouldn't it be marvellous if we saved the building from destruction or falling into disrepair? But I think there's a definite need for a place where people in Scotland can go, have a champagne dinner, and then watch a 2-hour variety show. I love variety. I've always loved variety. My memories are of Sunday night at the London Palladium, and we thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could have this iconic building, we could acquire the place, we could refit it, bring in various partners to do the catering and all this sort of stuff, but basically bring this wonderful building back alive as the instant arena where the public can come Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and be treated to a Vegas-style show. Now, we began to think, would that go down well? I think it would. I can't think of anywhere in the Scottish region that you could go and have that kind of evening, So we wanted to do two things, mainly to have it as a function suite where people can come and see the show, but also to be the kind of hub for our internal projects as well, Mark. Yeah?
Yep. Now, it's going to be, for those that do remember the setup and the Cinema 1, basically, up the stairs.
Yes.
Putting back in the seats, a 600 seat auditorium.
Yes. theinstantarena.com, which is now live.
Yep.
And one can go onto that and have a wee look at all the bits and pieces. Now, it's more of a fit out than a complete structural, because it's an A-listed building and it's very precious. Historic Scotland have been keen to tell us that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the whole idea is that you walk through the door, there'll be a very welcoming foyer bar that's open from early morning. You can have lunch in there, you can have business meetings in there, and then as you go through to the crush hall, it used to be, people will remember the building, the big crush hall.
Yep.
That's going to be where our TV production things are put together, our media hall and radio in the future.
Yep.
I think a lot of people will remember, as you go upstairs onto the first floor, there's a lovely, it used to be the Victor Sylvester Dance Hall.
Where many people met their partners, I believe.
Well, we're not responsible for that, and we don't. But no, it's a beautiful building upstairs.
Yeah.
So as we speak, that's going to be rejuvenated as Scruple's Champagne Bar, and we have a champagne company on board with us there, helping us there. So that's marvellous. But yes, back to the auditorium. As we speak, you go upstairs, and there's a 600 seat auditorium where we will be doing instant world variety. We'll be doing comedy shows. We can have all sorts of things in there: comedy, variety, rock, of course. We've had one or two serious rock bands who are well known coming to us saying, can we appear there, because we remember being there years ago. And it's wonderful to be able to be in that position where you can produce your own material. It becomes like a media centre as well as a night out for people who want to be entertained. Yeah,
I certainly know from the feedback that I've seen online on some social media, since you released it to the press, that a lot of people are saying, this is great. We're getting our building back.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I have to say, Mark, I completely underestimated the strength of feeling about this, because there's about 6,000, maybe 7,000 people signed a petition.
Yeah.
Amongst them are friends like Sean Connery, Brian Cox, and the Scottish actor fraternity, and everybody felt the same, that this building should not fall into disrepair. It's an A-listed building. It's got that iconic look to it, and wouldn't it be great if someone could bring it back? Well, isn't it great to be in that position to do just that? I'm looking forward to it. It's a gigantic. Sometimes you walk around the building and you think, oh my God, what have I done? But the team we have in there now, the people who are joining us in there, bringing the dream alive, it's spectacular, and it's going to be great, because people can come in and say, right, Scotland has a premier place where you can see Vegas-style shows, London-style shows on stage. Yeah.
And it'll also be a place where people, and you've been keen to point out that you want it to be a sort of hands-on place with the Boyle family, and people will be able to see the Boyle family there, and
Yes,
and see what you guys do in normal life.
Well, definitely. I mean, people can come in and meet us, and I think some of our American friends have already been over, and they've been walking around with the hard hats on, and they think this is fantastic, because they can walk in the door and we're just ordinary people. Well, of course, that's exactly what we are. But it's very gratifying to know that we can, through the modern day technology and digital cinema, we'll also be able to produce the shows. Our camera crews will be filming and editing the stuff, and eventually that will be headed out to cinemas around the world, as well as online television, which we're planning for the early new year. So very much a theatre where people can come and enjoy themselves, but also a media hub that can take what we do there and translate it around the world. Now let's go back to Fiona for a minute.
Yep.
And people like Fiona. It means that she can come onto the show, we can record her, we can work with Rab, but she gets the opportunity, and people like her with her talent get the opportunity to be seen on a spectacular show with some of the biggest names in the world.
So it is, it is again this catalyst for new talent, as well as bringing some big star names.
Yes.
But giving some good local talent an opportunity, if they are good enough,
Absolutely,
an opportunity to perform on the same stage.
Entertainers need to be discovered.
Yes.
And if we can be, once again, with the theatre as well as the record company, if we can be the front door, then that's wonderful. Now, the Boyle family show, there won't be one every week. We will do a Christmas special, and we're already speaking to the Osmonds, believe it or not, in America. And we'd love people like that to come onto the show, but also invite families onto the show who have talent, because this is their chance to be discovered. Why not?
Great stuff. Now there is a whole host of plans that you have, and you'll obviously be releasing them as time goes by. But the people of Edinburgh can also get involved in the Instant Arena, because it's a place where they'll be able to come and see TV shows and radio shows being produced.
Well, that's going to be fun, isn't it? Because there's a part of the building that people who know the building will remember what used to be just the big crush hall where you walked into little cinemas and so on. So we were thinking about what it would do with that, and two or three ideas came onto the table, and what we've decided on, you'll see this on the website, is the media hall. So during the day we will be filming things in there for our TV channel and for cinema distribution, but we'll also have our own radio show on a daily basis, where, yes, you're absolutely right, a bit like Top Gear, if you like. People can walk in, they can stand about in the audience, they can watch perhaps Ewan McGregor or someone like that being interviewed about a new film. Very much touchy-feely. People can come in and be part of that. And I think that's very exciting, because, I mean, radio and television tends to be produced behind closed doors. We're going to sort of open the door and let people come in and see it actually being done in action, yeah?
So, if we go back to the start, it'll be an opportunity for people to see the Boyles sitting about in the sofas, and
yeah, that's quite frightening. that's quite frightening,
yes,
that, Mark.
The terrifying prospect of the Boyles on the sofa, yeah.
And having a wee sing-song.
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
But no, I think it's fun. It's going to be great fun.
Yep.
And that's always in life. Things should be fun, and why not? But isn't it great? I mean, all the boxes are ticked. This wonderful, iconic building comes back to life. We have fun producing radio and TV. It's a place where people can go at the weekend and be spectacularly entertained. And, as we said, people can come along and be discovered. Fabulous.
Fantastic stuff. Well, can I just say thank you very much to both of you, John and Gerry, for
thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks very much indeed, Mark.
For taking the time to tell us about Yule Terrace. And again, that will be available, hopefully, very shortly.
According to our people, towards the end of next week, people can pre-order it, yes.
So Amazon and iTunes, do a search for Yule Terrace or for the Boyle family, and you should find it on there. and all the very best, I've got to say, with
Mark, thank you for that. That's been kind of
the
you to
Instant
invite us.
Arena, and also with Yule Terrace, and I look forward to seeing it all grow and develop.
Yes, indeed. Thank you again.
Great
Thank you
stuff.
very much.